Yes, sir. We back again. Another edition, episode. What is it? 65?
Oh man,
That
yeah,
what
we
we on?
65. Yeah,
All right, bet.
65.
Episode 65 of the Grounder Show. I'm here with the boys and plus one more of the boys. We got Dolore on this week. What's going on, man?
What's good, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me on, man.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks, man. To tell everybody that's listening, thanks you for having us on.
Facts.
We were on your show, Ear to the Grind Radio, your radio station. I think I was on maybe like 2 months ago or something. Quincy was on like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, man, and that was a super dope vibe. The studio's super nice. The setup you guys super dope. The interview was super dope. Everything
Facts.
was dope, man. How's that been going for you?
I appreciate that, man. We put a lot of work behind it. The first episode was in this like slummy, super ghetto basement studio that was not a good look. My boss LV stepped the game up, got the ill studio, the ill spot for us, and it's just been dope, bro. Like, I recently stopped being an artist. I'm gonna always be a rapper. That's in my heart. But as far as pursuing an artist, I let that go. So hosting has just been really dope, bro, because it's been so natural. Everything has just been flowing to the point where I'm like, I made the right decision. You feel me?
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
facts.
want to definitely ask you about that because I know you've been getting involved in a lot of different types of events and doing
Mm-hmm.
different stuff than what you were doing before, and you've been flourishing. You know what I mean? You've been doing a lot of different things, and we're definitely gonna get into that.
That's what's
But
up.
first, I definitely wanted to tap into a few topics around the music verse this week. Just the kind of things that kind of stood out to me. One thing that I kind of liked, just because a lot of stuff has been coming up about concerts in general, especially Taylor Swift, Drake. It's always in the news. His concerts, especially the big ones. I mean, they're all big, but Beyonce, what she got going on.
Awesome.
But we, I recently came across an article that was they were interviewing Jadakiss, and Jadakiss was saying that he got 50 Cent's tour like above any of the other tours. He
Wow.
specifically said, above Drake and Beyonce's tours. You know what I mean? Just as far
About
as like,
how good it is.
yeah, just as far as the show, like the type of music and everything. His
Right.
specific quote is this: for the music that we do, to see people up in that kind of caliber from our cloth of music to have that kind of production and see my dudes up there, that shit is incredible. And
Mhm.
that was him talking about when he was a special guest on a couple of the dates. And yeah, man, that final lap tour is what it's called. And I could
Yeah.
imagine that, man, just because the kind of guests that he has out there slash the catalogs they have, and just when you have a good rapper, and this is something that Dolore could hit first, pause. But when you got a good rapper that knows how to actually perform and is seasoned and is actually an MC, they can put these types of shows together, and it's something that always hits. You know what I mean? So, what do you think, Dolore, about Jadakiss saying that about 50's tour?
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. I didn't know nothing about nothing with Beyonce, Drake. I don't keep up with mainstream stuff like that these days. I'm more in tune to the local scene, my boys that's doing music, because that's more what I do now. But I'm gonna say this: I have seen a clip of Busta Rhymes at the 50 show, right? At
Mm-hmm.
that tour. And Busta was geeked, son. Like you would have thought he was on something. He was so geeked by
Yeah, I saw
I
Yeah,
he
I
Will
was
saw
Your
that.
Head,
wilding.
boy. And they had the fire going, and it was just like, yo. So from based off, that's the only thing I know about it. To keep it real, I can't talk like I know about it, but that's the only thing I seen from it. That was legit, bro. Like, wow, I could imagine that was a really, really dope show and a really, really dope tour. When you got a legend like Busta Buzz acting the way he was acting, and he wasn't on the song and nothing like that, had nothing to do with nothing. He was just a fan, bro. That tells you everything. That tells me everything. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely, especially with how great of a performer he is and how much he puts into his live show. For him to appreciate it like that, that's something that definitely got to be respected. What about you, Joe?
I saw him bring out Eminem for "Patiently Waiting," and the whole fucking place blew up. And that's one of my favorite tracks. I would have got the chills. I got the chills watching that shit. For them to do it, and it was 20 years ago when they actually did it, like at his actual album tour. And it's just crazy to see how that same energy is probably crazier now than it was back then.
What you think, Quincy?
Honestly, bro, I'm not surprised because I was supposed to go to the show in Atlanta, but the same weekend that he was here, I was on vacation in Maryland, so I couldn't make it. And obviously, none of the other shows coincided with where I was gonna go. But I mean, it's 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that he was basically doing an anniversary style tour of his of his project, of his biggest project. You know, I didn't expect anything less. You know what I mean? Like he has built his career so well that of course Busta's gonna come out and support. You know what I mean? Of course Eminem's gonna come out and support. Man, what he's done for not just music but just for the culture is huge. So people respect that and going to come out and show love. And so I'm not surprised, man. I'm just mad I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Hey,
I feel that.
if I could say one more thing on that, Les.
Yes, do your thing, bro.
Yeah, so I seen Nas, Wu-Tang, and Tampa last year, right? That tour they was doing,
Yeah.
and nobody knew Bust was a part of the show, right? And so it was Wu-Tang, and then in between, before Nas came out, Bust did a set with Spliff Star. And anybody who went to that show, bro, like it was dope to see Wu because I've never seen him. Nas is my favorite rapper, so that was just a whole nother level. But Bust, as far as breath control, as far as the engineering of his set, and as far as his stage presence, bro, I have never ever seen a performance, a rapper, singer, band. It didn't matter. I've never seen a set like Bust and Spliff Star's set, bro. I mean, it was next level, bro. And he was really rapping. It wasn't rapping over vocals. It wasn't rapping over a performance beat. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who went to the show was like, yeah, it was dope. Nas, Wu, of course, but they were like, yo, but Bust, like, yo, it was next level. So for him to be that type of showman and be at that 50 Cent show like that, and you could tell it was organic, it was natural, it was organic. He wasn't capping. Like he was really geeked at that 50 joint. So that just says a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the caliber of show that he puts on, for him to go there and feel that from those tracks and that performance and that energy, I mean, there's no bigger stamp than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yo,
Facts.
quick thoughts on this one because I don't really want to get too much sports talk like that. But what y'all think about Damian Lillard to the Bucks? It's official.
It's not even
I think
fair.
Boston could get him. I think Boston could get him still.
You said what? Say that again, Joe?
I think Boston could get them still.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but at the same time, I'm just not a big fan of Boston's dynamic down the stretch. You know what I mean? Like they just got this squad that there's like too many similar skills. The thing that Tatum lacks, Brown doesn't really bring it, and vice versa. It's like a kind of thing that I just never thought that worked out from the start. You know what I mean? They're a really good team that has a lot of really good pieces, and because the pieces are so good, they're able to be successful. But every year, it's like the team is almost different every year because you're trying to like make people do stuff that they don't do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Lillard to the Bucks because he just got to be him. Giannis just got to be him, and then the role players are the ones that got to adjust, which they always got to adjust anyway. You know what I
They
mean?
haven't been since Giannis went to the Bucks.
Yeah, and now you're talking about he might even sign that extension. You know what I mean? This thing doubly could destroy Miami because they didn't get Lillard. Plus, if Giannis re-signs with the Bucks, now he's not going to Miami either because that was a thing before too. So it's just crazy how it shook out. Like Miami, like doubly lost.
Mm-hmm.
What you
And
think?
they got to play
Yeah,
them.
I'm a Heat fan
And they got to
too,
play them
man,
more.
so-
Yeah, no, like that, they got to see them more now. You know what I mean? So it's like even that mental, if they like that first game, if the Bucks take it, I don't know, man, that might mess Miami up mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Mhm.
They'll have
Facts.
that number. But yeah, man. I had another article to talk about, but it was about Kanye, and as we've spoken, I'm just like, nah, never mind.
The Dr. Dre album?
Yeah, the Dr. Dre thing. But yeah,
I
bro,
want to know about that, but we can skip it.
Yeah. We'll touch on it next time if anything, because we gonna go down that Kanye loophole, man, and
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah,
be here forever. But yeah, man.
yeah.
The reason I wanted to have you on is you were always somebody that I thought about to have on the podcast, just because you have a real dope story, and just seeing your growth like over the past few years, because like at this point, even the change that you had, you've been in that change for like many years. You know what I'm saying? So like you've gone through the growth, and you've like cultivated it, and you're still you're keeping it going, going into the future. So I always respect that, you know what I'm saying? But
Well, I
if
appreciate that, man.
yes
The
sir.
struggle's still real, though. The struggle is still real, man. Don't let social media fool you, bro. Every day is still a struggle for me, man.
Yeah, facts. I feel that, man. Everybody kind of, man, this is something that I talk about when it comes to business too. Like that, people always forget that we're all people at the end of the day. So they be doing these weird things in business, not thinking about it just from the human side, which makes it so much easier. But even just from the point of view of what you're saying, like the struggle and everything, like just give people a little bit of background to like kind of, your upbringing, the kind of things that you ran into as far as trouble goes, and how you kind of made a change.
Yeah, man. I'll try to give you the cliff notes, because it is kind of an in-depth story. Because it's been 10 years now. My life changed 10 years ago, and it's never been the same since. But now I just grew up a regular dude, man. But I grew up in a rough neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't grow up like most dudes with my skin complexion, you could say. But I got into a lot of stuff at an early age, man. I was running wild really young. My grandfather was in the mafia, rest in peace. That's the only reason I could say that. If he was still alive, I would not even touch on that. But I just grew up always seeing gangsters, bro, and like things never made sense in my life until I got older because I was the baby of the family. So I was sheltered from that life. But like my neighborhood, my grandfather, like I just always seen it, and like I had a natural gift for learning things quick. I had a natural gift with people. So of course, I jumped off the porch. I started doing my thing in the streets and at a young age. And then before I knew it, around high school, it just got out of control, man. I went from selling drugs to really addicted to drugs. And like I would do my whole re-up, you know what I'm saying? I used to make mad money, and then now I'm not making nothing because I was an addict, you know what I'm saying? And then I went from like, I always try to stay humble, you feel me? I never ever want to boost myself up at all, and part of my story is humility and transparency, because then it's not as powerful if I'm like not real about it. But you know what I'm saying? Always had a nice car, always had jewelry, always had a nice girlfriend. Everybody knew me, and then it went to like straight up crackhead status, bro. Where like I went from the man to really like a junkie, pretty much, man. And I went from selling drugs to being addicted to drugs for 15 years, man. In 15 years of my life, I was in this crazy cycle of just getting high, coming down, doing whatever I could to get money, like broke, like poor, bro. Like I used to sleep on the floor in the trap house on a tile floor with my pit bull. I had this giant
Damn.
pit bull, rest in peace, Tally. I don't know if you remember Tally. And I would use Tally as a pillow on a tile floor in a trap house. Like I would sleep in abandoned houses, like just rock bottom, son. And then one day I had my mans from back home. I was a maintenance man in like a trailer park, and they would let me live there for free as part of my job. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the perfect job for a drug addict, because I finally had a little stable spot. All I had to do was get up and go to work every day. But my man's was going through a hard time back home. I told him, come to Florida, come stay on my little couch. Like when I say I lived in a trailer, it was like a trailer, like not like a
Yeah.
mobile home, like a little ass trailer. And we had got drunk, man. Long story short, and at the time I was on felony drug probation for 4.5 years. I caught 3 felony drug charges, and I had 1 year left to go on this felony probation. And my man said got twisted and came out his mouth sideways, sucker punched me. We had gotten to this big ass fight. I took him outside and like wore him out. And the neighbors had called the cops, and like SWAT team came to the crib because I guess the lady had a little exaggerated a little bit, saying like I was killing the dude or I was gonna kill him or something. But SWAT team came to the crib and everything was kosher, bro. We old friends. We from the hood. We know how to play it. We're not giving them nothing. You feel me? And so they was mad that he wasn't trying to press charges on me, or they didn't have nothing they could take me in on. So then they start going over my name and stuff, and they're like, "Yo, you on drug probation right now? So like, we need to go in your crib." And so they go in my house. They come out the house, and they got like, in the past I said like an amount, but just to keep it a stack. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it was a big bag. Like I've never really seen that much blow before, man. But they came out with a big ass bag of cocaine, man, and they're like, "Yo, it's your house. You're on probation. You getting knocked for this, man." And I'm like, "Yo." At that time, I was a cokehead, son, and we was both drunk. I was like, if I had coke, I would have been doing it. You feel me? Like, still to this day, they planted that on me, son. I know for a fact they planted it on me. So I had 1 year left of probation. Now I'm going to jail for felony possession of cocaine and felony possession to attempt to distribute, and felony violation of probation. And it's a whole crazy story that I don't want to take up too much time, that process. But in that time, man, I'm in jail and I'm thinking, yo, how did I get knocked for the one drug I had a problem with falsely? Like, I'm getting falsely arrested for cocaine when I had a really bad cocaine problem, bro. And it was like the Twilight Zone, son. I'm just sitting in the jail cell going like, yo, this is like God. Like, this is crazy, son. Like, if it had been any other drug, I would have took the charge. I would have been like, whatever. I would have got out and went right back to the same stuff, And like, I'm not going to get preachy with you guys, you know what I'm saying? But I am a man of God. I'm a Christian, you know what I'm saying? And they say God works in mysterious ways. And that was definitely the case in my spot, bro, getting knocked for the drug I had a problem with falsely. So my lawyer's like, you're going to do a year in jail. When the trial starts, the minimum they want to give you is 15 years in prison. And it just like crashed on me. Like, I had done mad time before, but never no hard time. I never been up the road, nothing like that. So it was crazy. But I just made a decision right there. Like, bro, this life is not leading me nowhere, son. I had overdosed a couple times. I've been through home invasions. I've been robbed. I've been shot at. Like, and then getting knocked for this drug that wasn't mine. Like, it was just enough, bro. I was like 28 years old at the time. And I was just like, yo, I just had enough, man. So I made that decision that day in jail to change my life and get sober and just start being more on a righteous path. And then everything went away, bro. Like, the state attorney has to communicate with your lawyer. My lawyer's telling me worst case scenario, that first trial date. I'm not like, it's a whole crazy story. Like, it just take up too much time. But long story short,
no. Go ahead. Elaborate on that part. The what you're getting into.
All right, so I was able to get bailed out on the possession charge. So I was in Osceola County for like a week or two, and I was able to get bailed out on the possession charge. But then I'd have to turn
you weren't
myself.
Supposed to get bailed out?
Nah, you can. Yeah, you can get bailed out on those types of charges.
Okay, gotcha.
But the thing is there's so many people on probation in Central Florida that the violation of probation is how they get you. That's the charges they really want to get you on, because it's like a double charge. And so there's so many people on probation in Central Florida that it takes time. So the VOP wasn't going through the system yet. It was only the possession charge and the attempt to distribute charge. So I got bailed out on those charges after like a couple weeks in Osceola County. And then the time came for me to turn myself in on the VOP. So this is after I changed my life, after I made the decision to change my life, after I prayed to God and made a little pact with God, like, yo, like, this life is done, son. Like,
so real quick, you made that decision in jail when you originally got knocked, but then you still had a little time period where you were going to figure out what was going to happen with the charges and everything, and you were bailed out of that situation.
Nah, in jail, my mind, the wheels was turning. You feel me? The wheels was turning in jail. And then when I got bailed out, I was free. And it was just like this wave of like, I don't even know how to describe it to you unless you felt that same feeling. Like, we call it conviction. And it was just this wave of conviction where I was like, I knew I had to change my life. And so while I was bailed out, before I had to turn myself in again, is when I made that decision to change and, said a prayer to God or whatnot. And it wasn't like I was scared to go to prison. I just felt like my life was going to end in some tragic way if I didn't change. And so I felt like God, like they say, real recognize real. God saw that I was being real about it, and I wasn't just scared to go to prison. So he looked out, bro. So when I went to turn myself in for the violation of probation, it was at 33rd because I was on probation in Orange County, even though I lived in Osceola County. And they put you in this little room downstairs, like where you, if you go visit somebody, you might have noticed there's like this little plexiglass room, but everybody's shackled up, and you're not in bookings yet. Like you haven't gone through processing. You're not in the jail. You're just waiting to go up there. And I was in there for like an hour, and this guy comes in and he's like, "Yo, Jonathan Tolo," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come with me. I'm getting your size and your weight. You're getting out of here." And I'm like, "Yo, getting out? Like, I'm turning myself in for felony violation of probation. I'm already a felon, and I got 2 pending felony drug charges on top of my felonies that are already caught. Like, there's got to be a mistake." And he's like, "Nah, like, a judge faxed us a letter saying put you on pretrial release until your trial starts." And I've been in the game for a minute, bro. Pretrial release is for misdemeanor crimes, like first offenders. It's not for people that got the record that I had, you feel me? But at the same time, I wasn't finna argue. So with like an hour turning myself in, I'm getting released. And the whole thing was crazy to the point where I called my lawyer and she's like, "They let you go?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They said pretrial release. She says, "Man, go check in with pretrial release right now and go home and don't leave your house till this trial starts." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do nothing. And but like everybody had said they good riddance to me, son. Like to the point I didn't even have a ride home from 33rd living in Kissimmee. You know what I'm saying? So it was like everybody's expecting me gone for a long time. And I had found a ride and whatnot. But then things got really weird for that first trial date, right? Which was probably like 6 months after they let me go and put me on pretrial release. And that first trial date, the lawyer's like, "I'm gonna send you a paper in the mail and you just show up on time, dress nice, woo, woo, woo." And so I get there, I wasn't even thinking, bro, like this whole time in my life was like the Twilight Zone. And I was dizzy every day. You know, it was like the craziest thing to ever happen to me. And I didn't even pay attention, bro. I just went and I'm like, "Yo, why am I at 33rd for court?" But it was at 33rd. And so I go to the same spot where I turned myself in at, the same place you would go visit somebody. And they're like, "What are you here? Who are you here to see?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm here for court." And they said, "Well, go to the courthouse." And I'm like, "Nah, like, you don't understand. Like, I got this paper, like, I'm here for court." And they're like, "That don't make no sense. Go down this hallway and talk to in Florida, it's not COs, it's sheriffs, you know what I'm saying? And they got like an observation deck where the sheriffs who observe the jail with all the cameras is kind of like behind the scenes. But they told me to go down and talk to them, and I'll go talk to them. And I said the same thing, like, "I'm here for court." And they're like, "Go to the courthouse." I'm like, "Bro, listen, it's about to start. I got this paper from my lawyer. I showed them the paper. They said, "All right, hold on 1 second. They're like, what's your name?" I told them my name. The dude radio's in. He's like, "What?" Radio's back. "What?" Pulls his gun out on me. They all pull their guns out on me and tell me not to move, son. And I'm like, "Yo, what is going on?" And they're like, "We have you on the most wanted escapee list."
Yo.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow. That's
I'm
crazy.
like, "Bro, listen to this, bro. I'm Italian, son. I got a purple silk shirt on with the tie, the slacks. I got these fake alligator shoes on." And I'm talking to them like I would talk to you, Les, like one of the boys, right? I'm like, "Yo, my mans, listen to me, bro. You think I escaped from jail, got fresh, and then came back for court? Like, I just wouldn't have came. Like, what is your problem?" Bro, they still got their guns on me and everything. But then they call the supervisor, and the supervisor comes and says, like, "Yo, there's one courtroom under the jail, under 33rd, and it's for parole and probation hearings. It's not for people that are free. It's for inmates that are going through the transition process." And they said, "If he's on that docket, put him in there." And sure enough, I was on that docket. So they put me in this room, son. Everybody's got county blues on, bro, the jumpsuits. And I'm in there with my purple silk shirt on, and we all shackled together. You're not even in the courtroom. They keep you separated from the courtroom. And when they call your name, you go in this phone booth. You put on the headphones with a little microphone. And when it was my turn, I get in there, and the judge goes, "Your case has been dismissed. I never want to see you again."
What?
And mind you this, I'm deaf, son. I can't hear. So I'm in the phone booth like, wait, what? And he's like, on to the now. I'm like, wait, sir, hold on. What did you say? And the guard was like, bro, get out of here. Like, it's over. And the whole time I'm in that room, all the inmates was like, yo, this dude's in the mafia. Like, it's Italian dude. And I'm like, nah, son, like, it ain't even like that. And so I started kind of like preaching to them. I'm like,
Yo,
yo,
my
God did
bad,
this
my
for
bad.
me.
Real
If he
quick, that does gotta look crazy to the dudes in there wearing the jailhouse fit. You come in there
Yeah.
dressed like Barney the Pimp, and you just get your case dismissed and slide, bruh.
Like that's wild.
That has to be from their point of view. They're probably telling that story like it's some like it probably sounds crazier to the people they tell it to than you telling it to us right now, bro.
Facts.
Guys, I swear they thought I was John Gotti's son, like I was one of the Gottis. Like that's what everybody was saying. That's what everybody thought. But now I started preaching, and I'm like, yo, listen, like it's God. I'm not in the mob. I didn't tell him about my grandfather. I didn't say none of that. I was just keeping it a stack. Like, yo, I changed my life. God honored it, and now he's getting me off of all this, and he could do the same for you, bro. The guard was like, he broke like character. If you don't go right now, I'm gonna chase you. Like, I'm gonna chase you right now if you don't leave right now. And I'm like, I bet. And then I left. And then so just one more little part. I'm still on probation. I still had a year left on probation. And I called my lawyer, and my lawyer is shook. She's like, bro, the state attorney's telling me they're throwing a book at you. I'm telling you, you're gonna do at least a year in jail and then go to prison for 15 years. All like they didn't tell me they was gonna dismiss the case. And I'm like, I'm free. And she says it's this thing called ex post facto where they can't take it back. If there's a mistake or anything, they can't. Once that judge says boom, it's over with and they can't go back. So she says, go straight to probation and check in with your probation officer right now. And so I went straight to probation. And when he seen me, he was shook. He goes, what are you doing here? And I was like, here we go again. So he calls me in the back to his office, and he types in the computer, and he turns the computer around, and it says, Jonathan Tolo, status incarcerated. On everything I love, son. Even in the probation computer, it said my status was incarcerated. And I had been free this whole time. And so this man goes, all right. I told him the whole story. He's like, all right, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next month. And then I did my year of probation, and I've never been arrested. I've never seen a cop since. And now it's been 10 going on 11 years, bro.
Bro.
That is wild.
So you see why I've been able to stay. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish your statement.
So, I was just going to say, you see why I've been able to stay on this path. And like, I have my moments where I slip up, man. I'm not perfect. Especially after the divorce. I just recently got divorced. You know, I've been drinking a lot more than I normally do. So I've had some times where I did stuff I shouldn't have been doing. But for 10 years straight before the divorce, I was on that straight and narrow, son, like no nothing. You know, I quit smoking trees. I quit doing drugs. I quit getting drunk. I would still drink, but I quit getting drunk. But you see why. Like, that had such a profound impact on my life. I was like, I can't even play with that life no more.
That's life-changing shit.
Yeah, man. So that's how it happened right there, man. Sorry to make it long, but it's a lot to it, you know.
Nah, we needed all that. That's definitely. Yeah, no, that's a crazy story, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, that's how it happened, man. And that was 2013, January 6th, 2013. I still remember everything about it to this day, man.
Hey, man, that's hard to forget, bro. That's something that you can't even. That's the thing that you wish would happen in a situation in your life, like when you're just thinking about it, like to yourself. And it's like the solution you would wish for that you know is never gonna happen, but in your case, somehow it did happen. Bro.
Yo, facts.
Yeah, but like I feel like I was so far gone that if something extreme didn't happen like that, I wouldn't be here talking to you, man. And that's real spill.
Well, everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
And for a reason, you feel me? So it went from the worst thing that ever happened to me to the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. Just like that. It's crazy.
Got some of those too.
Man. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it to Quincy and Joe, just because you know I know a lot of the stuff as far as how your story goes and everything. But if y'all got anything y'all want to like kind of elaborate on, or any kind of reactions you have to anything he said.
What is any of that stuff that happened to you kind of tapped into the reason why you're doing like the show, the podcast you're doing right now? When did anything during that spark this?
Nah, not the podcast. The radio show and podcast was kind of just given to me because the owner seen that I was everywhere. She seen me because I host boxing events too. So she see me at like rap battles. She see me host boxing events. She see me at Christian shows. She see me at non-Christian shows, and she just thought I'd be a good fit for it. But I do community work, and that definitely inspired the community work. Because like I go into the youth prison here in Ocala, and I mentor the youth in this level 10 facility here in Ocala. So that definitely inspired that. But as far as the radio show goes, nah, that I kind of just got thrown into that.
That was actually going to be my
person to tell the story.
Facts. That was actually going to be my next question. Because I know during my interview with you on Ear to the Grind, you kind of mentioned that what you do to give back to the community and the youth. Could you kind of elaborate on that? Because I definitely think that with the story that you just told, man, that, you got to share that as many people as possible.
Yeah, man. I had got asked by one of my bros, man, Many Faces, who had did it before. The organization is called Urban Youth Justice, and they go into juvenile facilities all over the world, but mainly in Florida. It's based out of Tampa, and I was asked to go just do some songs one time, and I did a song, but I just felt led to like tell my story, and it had an impact. And the owner of the organization was like, yo, you want to get down on this? There's actually a facility in Ocala, because that's where I live now. He was like, and you could be the one to you have your own team and everything and do it there. So, but I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. These kids these days is crazy, bro. I remember when I was a kid, I'm almost 40 years old now, but back in the 90s, we was wild and we was crazy, but it's a whole nother level these days. And like, when I first started going in there, they're like, oh, this old white dude. Like, I didn't get no respect, but then just showing them consistency, being a male role model and influence in their life that was consistent. And I always kept it a stack. Like, y'all know my alias is Mr. Real Spill. I didn't go in there like, oh, woo, woo, woo. I went in there like, yo, this is what I've been through. My little brother's an OG Crip that's in the feds right now. Just got out of the feds, been out the feds for a year, and now is back in the feds. Got stabbed in prison by his own gang, and now is a quadriplegic. I go in there and I tell them from experience. I don't go in there and tell them from a place that, like, I seen a movie or I just want to help, or I'm like this Christian guy, like, Ned Flanders. Like, nah, I'm going in there like, look, man, I done lived that life. My little brother is seriously about that life. And this is what happens, And the funny part is my hood side wants to, like, keep it real, be like, yo, I could tell y'all some things where you could navigate the system, but then I'm like, nah, I'd rather just tell you just stay out that life. You feel me? Because it's just hard. But now I go in there and it's like, yo, Dolore, like, it's like I'm a big brother to them, man. And like when they get out, they hit me up. I'll shoot them some bread, get them some new shoes, get them a haircut. And there's a lot of them make music. I try to set them up in studios. And it's just dope, like the fact that they hit me up when they get out. Because when you're locked up, you just want to pass time on a lot of things. So I don't take it personally or think it's dope when they come to my mentor meetings. But when they hit me up when they get out, is the real love. That's when I'm like, I bet I had an impact on this kid. And I still got all the numbers in my phone. I'll be reaching out on the holidays. How's your mom? How's your brother? You know what I'm saying? And it's dope, bro. Every time I leave there, I'm like renewed, you know what I'm saying? And I just, it's just a great feeling, man, So.
Yeah, that's something me and Quincy talk about pretty often, just from the point of view of not having anybody really to look up to or get guidance from when you come from those situations, because you was around Wentworth, the kind of stuff that went down, and that kind of environment, bro, it just leads to more bullshit. Like, that's just how it is. It's a cycle. And there's a lot of people in there. Like, I think about it now, and me and Quincy have talked about it before, bro. There was men in Wentworth, the age that I am now, that was hanging around us, trying to give us quote unquote game about gangs or street life and stuff like that. Like, bro, you a grown man with bills. What are you doing out here? You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Right.
just a crazy thing, but we never thought about it that way. We looked at them like, oh, they the older dudes. He's an OG. You know what I'm saying? We thought he came with some wisdom just because he's older and he's around. But nah, bro, like sometimes you have people around you that just lead you down the wrong path. Sometimes the people around you just don't have the answers.
And it happened to
Facts.
me. My OG in my neighborhood, my big brother, they steered me down those wrong paths, and I feel like you'd have to be a real hater. You'd have to be a real jerk off to go down a path and have a real negative ending and not see somebody, a young dude, going down that path and not at least tell them that what's real about it and try to
Right.
steer them away from that. You know what I mean? I don't want no kid to go through what I went through, man, on every level. You feel me? And I even be telling them these days, like, bro, drugs is crazy. So when I did drugs, it was still natural in a sense. Like these days, all this synthetic
Mhm.
stuff and all this is crazy. And I'm like, you're better off just not even doing it, bro. And I keep it a stack. Like, if you want to have a fly girl, you want to have nice things, you want to have a future, then drugs, you know what I'm saying? Even just getting started, the cool kids that do it when they're young, look at them now. They probably
Mm-hmm.
crackheads, they probably dead, they probably in prison. You feel me? But the cats that just, maybe did their little thing but didn't get too much into it or just stayed away from it, those is the real stand-up dudes. Those are the dudes that you would look up to these days. So it's just the type of stuff I be trying to tell them, man, because I feel like nowadays there's not too many positive influences out there that can come from a place of experience and keep it a stack with these kids, man. And if it was your kids, if it was kids, I don't know, I'm gonna be the same way, bro. I just got love for the youth, man.
That's
So
dope,
Man.
man.
Good look.
I feel like nowadays, just being peace and still is like out of style. You know what I mean? Like nobody
fact.
nobody wants to be like in a situation where they're just happy about what's going on. Everything is kind of even. There's no crazy stuff. There's nothing kind of, in their ear from every angle. It's just kind of like people want to kind of be in that chaos. They want to be in the middle of the gossip. They want people commenting on their life and everything. And obviously, social media is a part of that. Everybody feel like they the main character
Big
of a
part.
reality show. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
definitely something that people need guidance on, man.
Yeah, man. It's like you're not gonna really get it if you don't have a father figure or an older brother that's on a good path, on a good place in life. You're not going to get it from the movies or the music. But I tell them though, like I love gangster movies, just maybe because my family and all that. But I tell them every single gangster movie, every single street movie is the realest movies to watch because what happens? The beginning of the
Mm.
movie is dope. It's the best time to come up. But what happens every single ending of every single hood or gangster movie?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
never a positive ending. It's never a happy ending. This dude snitches on this dude. This dude kills that guy. This guy goes to prison and rats on everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And the
it's
come up is
never
always short.
Facts.
the come up is always the best time, but it's always the shortest. The struggle is always the longest, the most part. You feel me? And
Mm-hmm.
it's never like I know it's cliche, but like they say, there's no happy endings for gangsters, man.
Facts.
Real talk.
That's facts, man. So but that's and it's like I ain't nobody, man. I'm just somebody that would love to, if I could change one kid's life to not go through what I went through, then it'll be all worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you had it follow me around with a camera all day long, I'm not the best role model, son, but I try, I try,
Yeah.
you feel me? So
Yeah, man. I kind of wanted to touch a little on what you were saying, as far as like having that role model, and to kind of touch on even like I know you're a Tupac fan. We all Tupac fans.
yep.
Just that lyric in Dear Mama where he's kind of talking about that, for a woman it ain't easy to raise a man. And I wanted to kind of start with you, Joe, because you kind of had like a weird, not weird, but like a unique dynamic in your childhood where like your dad was there, then there was a time that he wasn't there, and just kind of explaining
Yeah.
like how did that feel just as far as you having somebody as a male in your life, like what was the differences that you felt?
Yeah, actually, I spent majority of like my first few years with my dad, and then when we went to meet up with my mom, and I don't fully remember this, but they tell me the stories like because I spent so much time with him, like I didn't want to listen to her. I didn't want to be there. I'm like, nah, you're not my dad. Like, and then, but that got me used to like knowing that there's times where like we weren't going to all be together all the time. So like he would start traveling for work, and he'd be gone. Like when the hurricanes came, he was doing hurricane restoration like all over the U.S. He's a big part of like New Orleans restoration, and he was gone for a long time. That put me in a position like feeling like I got to hold it down for the family. Being the only guy there, you know, and just be like a male presence in the family when he's not there. So it kind of showed me like it's not always going to be there, and if it's not there, you got to step up and be that person. I think that kind of grew on me to say, you know, if the leadership's not there, I'm gonna step up and be the leader whenever I got it in all aspects.
No, that's facts, man. What you think about that, Quincy? I know you got obviously you know, your dad was never there, not because of him. You know what I'm saying? He was taken from us very, you know, before you was even able to really, you know, even have an experience with him. So just, you know, that lack of having your dad there and just growing up with a stepdad originally, like how that, you know, obviously that affected you, but how does that kind of resonate with you?
For me, I mean, it definitely is. How can I say it? It's tough because, you know, I had to learn how to be a man or teach myself how to be a man myself. Like I had to YouTube how to tie a tie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's tough when you think about it from that perspective because, you know, I did have a father figure very temporarily, you know, but he was abusive at that time. So when, you know, I saw it, I always was like, I don't want to be nothing like him. You know what I mean? So any kind of fatherly advice or fatherly things that I saw from him, I didn't really want to take that in. Boss. So, you know, basically for me, it's like I had to really like learn how to be a man on my own and teach myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm still learning to this day. You know what I mean? Like I still feel like I look to older men that I've met and other, I would call brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys, you know what I'm saying? And learn through y'all experiences of how to be a better man every day. You know what I'm saying? But it's different. It's tough. A woman can't teach that, man.
Facts, man. How about you? How about you, Dolore? How does that? How has that dynamic been in your life?
And see, it's crazy how like with the radio show stuff I just went through or was just talking about gets brought up on the shows, and it's no different with this right here. So I just have my man's at my crib working with me. He's going through it, right? And same kind of thing where I was like, yo, come to my crib. I got a guest room now. You know, I don't got a family here no more. So you could work with me, get back on your feet, woo, woo, woo. But he never had his father in his life, right? And we had got a little bent the other night, you know what I'm saying? And smoking some cigars and talking about life. And he was like, yeah, you know, if I had my dad and this and that. And he's like, you can't understand because you always had your pops. And I said, now hold on, man. Just because people have their father in their life doesn't mean that it was like some Family Matters, you know, Mr. Winslow father figure. My dad is a great man, and I don't want to take nothing away from him, but my dad was a firefighter. Firefighters work 24-hour shifts, and then they get 48 hours off. My dad would be gone all day long, every other day or every other 2 days, and then when he was home, he was sleeping for like that whole first day. And then his second day off, he would run the painting business that I run now, you know what I'm saying? And my dad was like this ill-tempered, old-school Italian dude where I had no relationship with my father because if the littlest bit of coming out my mouth or littlest bit of what he thought was disrespect, my pops would throw hands, son. Like he would kick in my door and catch me with 3 pieces in my face, like pow, 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 and bust my nose wide open and then stand over me and be like, come on. And my father's huge, bro. And I'm like, nah, son. And then the next day I see him and it said like, yo, hey dad, you know, thinking it's cool. And my dad would say something to like, excuse my French, but this is real. Be like, it's a good thing you didn't fight me back. And I'd be like, what? He'd be like, because I would have fucking put you in the hospital. And I'm like, bro, that's my dad. Like, but it was like that. We had no relationship. It was like a tyrant. You know, the illest respect. He was never really around because of his job. But then now, just to keep it real spill, my pops is my best friend. You know, now he's 75 years old. He's an old man. And we mended that, bro. We used to fight, bro. Like, we used to fight to where the whole family would start fighting because me and my pops was going at it. And then I'd always get kicked out. I would always be like the outcast, the black sheep. But then there came a time in my life where I was like, I'm going to forgive this man. I'm not going to use it as an excuse to act a certain way because he acted a certain way towards me. And I'm going to try to mend this relationship. And it was something I really worked hard on and really prayed about. And it changed, bro. And now we are best friends. And now my whole family gets along great. And so, you know, just because I always had my dad doesn't mean it was, like I said, like some family matters stuff where it was like perfect. And I learned all the, he taught me how to paint and he taught me how to throw a football. But I didn't get no sex talk. I didn't get no drug talks. I didn't get no jail talks. I didn't get none of those talks from my pops. And I had to learn all that from the streets and learn all that the hard way. So,
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm
something we talk
saying?
about a lot on the podcast, just from the point of view of everybody got their struggle and you don't know what anybody's going through. From the outside looking in, somebody might look at you and say, "Oh, white dude, both parents, he's good, he's chilling." It ain't always the case, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, it's real important, like you said, even just taking the time with people because of that same detail. Like, we don't know exactly what everybody been through, what they're going through, the things they lacked. You know, there's so many different, you know, factors in people's lives that make them the way that they are, that you always got to extend that grace no matter what.
Facts, bro. Like, I always show respect first until you disrespect me. Until you come with disrespect, I'm always gonna come with respect and the best understanding I can. You're not always gonna relate. You're not always gonna understand, but you could try, and you could not be a jerk, and you could be patient. You feel me? Until it's not reciprocated. I don't want nobody to ever be a pushover, and I'm damn sure not a pushover. But I'm gonna at least try to come with that understanding and respect first, so I get proven otherwise.
Right. Right.
I actually wanted to run through this Billboard Top 10 game and then kind of go into what you got going on with your radio show, some dope news. It's
All right,
coming up
definitely.
on that 50-minute mark, man. It's been a super dope episode so far. That, bro, I knew when you
Facts.
came on and told that story, bro, that it was gonna be like, what the hell? Because it's crazy, man, and just what you were able to go through and recognize the fact that, hey, I've been on some bullshit. I need to make a change, and to be blessed and to be able to keep it up and recognize it and still, how do you say, appreciate it. You know, 10 years later, that's the thing, man. A lot of these people that be going through stuff, they be having that you know, olive branch thrown out to them, but they just don't recognize it. You know what I mean? There's plenty of situations where somebody's giving you a hand, giving you hope, trying to help you come out of whatever hole you're in. And sometimes we might be too stubborn or we might be too, you know, hazy to realize what's going on. But, you know, you always got to take those good opportunities and rise to them as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just say, hey, I need a handout, but then you're not doing the work on yourself, you know, and that's
Right.
what I always respected about you and your story, because you're somebody that recognized what was going on and you do the work and you're active in the community to show, like, hey, like you said, I'm here to make sure this don't happen no more because I was blessed with this opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, and just real quick, man, you can't use things that happen to you as an excuse to wild out.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Like,
big
like
one, bro.
I just went through this divorce, and there was a time right after the divorce where I was like, I'm a wild out. And it was a
Yeah.
struggle, son. It was a real struggle for me to stay on the path I'm on. And honestly, I'm still kind of struggling with it. And it's been 8 months. But at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
nowhere near I used to be either, you know, because I've been trying not to use it as an excuse, bro.
Exactly. That's facts, man.
I went through something 4 years ago, and I took the same approach, and it turned out horribly. But I've used these last 4 years to recover and really go back to the person I'm supposed to be. And if anything like that ever happens again, I know how to react better. That's for sure.
Facts.
I
Facts.
feel that. But yeah, man, we about to get into this Billboard Top 10, man. We are going into the week of February 26, 2005. All right.
Ooh,
So Dolore,
T-Pain.
I'm gonna tell you how we I'm gonna tell you how we do this. I have 3 songs that I picked out of this top 10 that I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a clue. Everybody's gonna get a turn, so everybody's gonna get a question. Y'all could try to give me the artist and the title of the song. All right.
All right.
If you
Okay.
can't get it and you pass it, the next person gets a chance to get it, and they'll get that point. And whoever has the most points at the end wins.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So I'm gonna give the clues. Let me do this to figure out. Okay. So the first question is one of the numbers on the chart, obviously, right? 1 through 10. So you guys all guess a number. Whoever's closest to that number is the one that's going to go first. So whenever y'all ready, go ahead. Tell me a number.
3.
3.
6.
All right.
What did you say, Quincy?
I said 6.
He says 6.
Okay.
All right. So, what's it called? Joe and Dolore was the closest. Y'all called out the same number. So now, since you went first, Dolore, I'm gonna give you first. You're gonna tell me a number, 1 or 2, and whichever one's closest to it, that's the person that's gonna go first. So pick 1 or 2, Dolore.
1.
Pick 1 or 2, Joe. Well, obviously, never mind. He got my bad. Y'all see me puffing earlier. My bad. But all right. So Dolore, you going first because it's the number 1 song.
All right.
So I'm just gonna give you these clues, and in the wording of the clues, you're gonna get the hint for the song title. So make sure you're paying attention.
All right.
So this was the number 1 song, February 26, 2005. The song is from a maturing R&B singer that returned to the scene with a grown and sexy vibe to climb the charts with this plea for love. So this maturing R&B singer returned with a grown... All right, go ahead.
Tyrese Miss Lady.
Incorrect, my friend.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That you had me nervous.
That was a good one. Next one, Joe. You go ahead and guess. This maturing R&B singer returned with a grown and sexy vibe to climb the charts with this plea for love. 2005.
Plea for love. Maturing, growing. Is it Usher?
No, sir. Quincy.
I gotta guess it's nah. Okay.
I don't know. Say it one more time for the culture.
All right. It's in the words. It's in the words. You ready? This maturing R&B singer returned with a grown and sexy vibe to climb the charts with this plea for love.
Damn, I don't know, bro.
No guess for the song or the artist?
Ronald Isley.
No. I'm going to give you one more go, Dolore, and then I'm going to tell it. What you think?
Plea for love. Because that was like 99. I was gonna say Teddy Riley, but that definitely wasn't 2005.
Y'all are gonna be mad at this one because y'all should have got this one.
I don't know.
The song
Go
that
ahead.
was number 1 that week was Mario, "Let Me Love You."
Wow.
That was his
like his
first
only
comeback
joint,
song. His first comeback song after he did "Just a Friend" when he was a little kid. He's back with the button down, "Let Me Love You." That was the number. Yo, I didn't realize that actually reached number 1 on Billboard, bro. That was a
that was a big song. That was a big song.
That was a big song.
Yeah, that was a major song.
I think what the maturing thought, I was thinking a little older than, but I get why you said that.
Mm-hmm.
I get why you said that.
Yeah.
Here's number 2. It's going to Joe. This one, man. Come on, all right. This song was number 5 on the charts this week. It's February 26, 2005. This epic collaboration was thought to be the first of many, but beef got in the way. Either way, this classic hit is
Hated to love it.
instantly
Million times on top.
Incorrect.
Damn.
Quincy.
Wait.
I'm gonna read the whole thing.
Okay.
This epic collaboration was thought to be the first of many, but beef got in the way. Either way, this classic hit is instantly recognizable with its unique intro and melodic vibe.
How we do?
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
Let's go.
How we do came out before Hater to Love It.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though, Joe. That was a good one, though, Joe. So, Quincy, you got a point. Yes, sir. Now
Let's
we going back
go.
to Dolore for the last song. Oh, did I ask you? I asked you already, Quincy, or not yet? I didn't ask you
No,
a
no, no.
song, right?
No,
No, I
Quincy
bet.
turn.
So this one's going to Quincy then. All right. So this was the number 2 song on the charts this week. With 2 hits on the charts this week, this rapper had a different approach on this stringy hit that blew up.
Stringy.
With 2 hits on the charts this week, this rapper had a different approach on this stringy hit that blew up. You can guess the rapper too to try to get a point at least.
50 Cent.
Ding, ding, ding. So you got 2 points. Dolore, if you can
Wait,
get the
wait. Let me throw a
wait,
song.
all right, go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
throw a song.
Yeah.
Oh my God. In the club.
No, sir.
Nah.
Dolore, you get a chance to get the song.
I don't get the stringy part, but I'm gonna just say because the time period on PIMP.
No, sir. It was Candy Shop. 50
Oh, that was
Cent.
what. Oh, I'm tight. That was what I thought, but the
That was my
stringy,
next
bro.
guess.
Oh,
That was the
I'm tight.
violins.
That was
Remember?
my next guess.
Oh my God. I'm tight.
Hey, bro.
So you made strings in the beat.
Yes, sir.
Ah, man.
I'm gonna run
So-
the top 10 down real quick just to let you know what time it was on. This was February 26,
Quincy got that one.
2005. Yeah, Quincy got that one.
Finally
2
got
points. There you go. All right, so number 1 that week, like we discussed, Mario, Let Me Love You. Number 2, like we discussed, Candy Shop, 50 Cent featuring Olivia. Number 3, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Green Day. Number 4, 1-2 Step, Sierra featuring Missy Elliott. Number 5, How We Do, Game featuring 50 Cent. Yo, when this song dropped, like even just the way it was produced, I was like, bro, what is this? It was crazy.
Dog.
It was.
Oh my
When you
God.
said how the clue was like how the beat drop, I was like, yo,
Bro,
that How We Do beat is crazy.
Fact. Dang, I even missed this one. He had
Yeah,
3
that's how you
songs.
knew Quincy. That's how.
This
Where's
was
your
crazy.
phone at? He was googling stuff. He was googling it.
Yo, number 6 was Disco Inferno, 50 Cent. I didn't even
Oh,
notice that he
damn.
had 3 on the
Yeah.
charts that week. That's crazy. And number 7, Lovers and
Yeah,
Friends,
yeah,
Lil
right.
Jon and the East Side Boys featuring Usher and
I was about to
Ludacris.
say that had to be on there somewhere.
Number 8, Soldier, Destiny's Child featuring T.I. Lil Wayne. Number 9, Since You've Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson. Number
That was
10,
my joint.
Rich Girl, Gwen Stefani featuring Eve.
Nice.
Man, hip hop used to really run the charts, man.
Yo, facts. They're all over the
Yeah.
charts. All the ones that we've read so far. Psst.
There was only two. There was only 2 joints that wasn't hip hop.
Exactly, bro. It's crazy, man. How far it's fallen, man. But everything got a
fact.
cycle, dog, and everything kind of
Yeah.
like has the same kind of growth and depth. And you know, when you really look at hip hop, as far as like any other art form, it's pretty much in that stage where it's like it either turns into something completely different or it just dies.
Dies. Yep. I'm looking at it right now. The current top 10 for this week is the only hip hop song, and it's not even really hip hop, is "Slime You Out," Drake and SZA. Other than that, bro, I'm lying. Gunna, fuck you mean is number 9.
Dang, he's still on the charts with that one,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
He been holding some position.
Yep.
He had that comeback show the other day, man. A lot of people had a lot of reactions to that. The whole, snitch thing and him just coming right back out like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, man, the
Streets is the myth.
the train don't stop moving.
Facts.
But yeah, man, Ear to the Grind Radio, man. Make sure y'all tap in. There's definitely some dope interviews. Like you were saying, man, you just got people that's on the grind in there. So they be having different kinds of guests, but everybody makes sense. I was on it. Quincy was on it. You've had different business owners on it, artists. And man, October 14th, you got a big one, dog. Thurston Howell from Gilligan's Island. Saturday from 4 to
Yep.
6.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
big time.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, October 14th from 4 to 6. Low Life will be in the building. Thurston Howell, and it also be my man's Many Faces. Fremont Peoples will be in the building. 2 heavy hit lyricists, New York lyricists. If you really like that golden era type of lyrics, this is gonna be that episode right here, man. And both these dudes too is proof that you're never too old to get some shine, man. You're never too old to do your thing, and that's also inspiring to me because Thurston was homies with Sean P, and it was always kind of in the background. And then now he's blowing up. You know what I'm saying? And he's older than me, so it's gonna be dope for multiple reasons. But if you like that real raw, that New York raw, that like it used to be, this is that episode for you guys, man. Make sure you tune in at Ear to the Grind. There's a link in my bio. You can click that. It's going to say listen to my radio show live. Just click that link right there. Push the play button on the page. It's going to take you right to the show. But yeah, man, if you want to be on the show as well, give me a follow on IG at Ear to the Grind. Send me a DM. But this the thing, though. If you're not really on your grind, I'm not going to have you on the show, man. Straight up.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I feel that. But yeah, man, it was dope having you on. Definitely want to have you on later down the road just to get a little more in depth with your story and just, dissecting a little more just from the life lessons kind of point of view and things that you feel like resonated with you a lot. But, thanks for coming on,
I would love that,
bro.
man.
It was long overdue. Glad we finally got it in. Joe, you got anything that you want to leave the people with, my friend?
Thanks for having me.
Man, yeah, no, thanks, Lord, for coming on, sharing your story, man. It's a crazy story, like Lester said. People are probably telling that story about you to other people. It was good to hear, good to meet you. Looking forward to more episodes. And then that's it. You know what to do.
Quincy?
Yeah, it's all love, man. Always love on this side, man.
Definitely appreciate you for coming on, man. And just for the listeners, to sign off, man, definitely tap in to the Ear to the Grind radio. Even just from the interviewing standpoint, I know you said, you kind of got asked to do it, but you truly do have a knack for it, man. That was probably the best interview I've ever had. So I definitely want to give you that shout out on that, man, for real. So yeah, for the listeners, man, make sure y'all tap in, man, Ear to the Grind radio, and stay butter.
Yep, I appreciate that, man.